Woohoo! We are live. Hi, welcome. I just need to stop jiggling my legs. I'm sorry, I should have eaten a banana today. I am so thrilled to be here with you today. As I say every flippin' Friday, this is like my favorite day of the week because as you may know, I suffer from chronic medical conditions and I get really tired. So today I just took the day off. I rested plenty so I would have enough energy to be here to do tonight's session and just fart about and have a lot of fun with you. I know that a few of my gals can't make it, but that's okay. We're still going to enjoy ourselves. The topic chosen this week was how we are going to deal with overwhelm. And it is like every week, the art therapy and kind of crafting exercises that we do are doing something wonderful for your brain. Whenever you are in a period of just really focused concentration and being creative and using your hands, your brain goes into something called the alpha mode, the alpha brain wave state. And it means that you are relaxed. It means that your subconscious is able to process information in the background without the constant chatter, that kind of chatter whenever you go to bed. It's like, so it is really important that you take even 10 minutes out of your day. So something that I really realized that was very important was for me to have regular arty crafty time rather than scheduling like one time a week to be arty and crafty. So I do 10 minutes a day now instead of like an hour a week. And like it adds up almost to the same thing. It adds up a wee bit more than an hour, but it's worth it. And it is so good for your brain just to have that every single day. And the consistency is so important. Hello, Sandra. I did see your comment come in there, but I was too busy gabbing. And if you are watching the replay, if you are on YouTube, please say hello. I would absolutely love to hear from you and just know that people are watching. And it really helps me to guide the content. Of course, every single week, you get to vote on the topic unless it's like a special event, but I'll mark those. And to choose the topic, you must be inside the Facebook group, which is going to be linked in the description as well. And I hope you have had a lovely week. Sandra has had surgery on her face, on her wisdom teeth. How's your face? Because it looked like poor wee Sandra was eating bees this week. Poor wee Sandra. How are you? It's so lovely to have you here. I know that with the summer time zones changing, that things have been a wee bit crazy, and we've got a few people that aren't able to make it this week, which is a-okay. Of course, you can watch all the replays. They are inside the Facebook group. We're kind of developing a wee bit of a library in there of different techniques that you can use to reduce overwhelm, to really explore your feelings, to let go of things. Simper Sandra. Oh, I'm glad it's better. Oh my gosh. Would you believe I am one of those very rare bears who do not have any wisdom teeth at all? Never came in for me or my dad. So I'm very grateful for that. I'm going to touch all the wood. Touch all the wood. Say hello, please, if you are watching. It is lovely to have you here. I just need to chat to somebody today, so it'll feel like I'm going mental. Oh, so this week, the topic was dealing with overwhelm. And as I said at the very beginning, whenever your brain is in that alpha mode state, you can relax a bit more. But specifically, when it comes to overwhelm, I wanted to give just a really quick breathing technique that will really help because it activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is kind of like, do you know whenever cats purr to heal themselves? We can do that too with our breath. It's amazing. Science is like magic, guys. Except it's science and it's real. So all you have to do is take a slow, deep inhale through your nose. This is very important, for 3 seconds. Hold for 3 seconds. Hi, Corrine. Welcome. You are very welcome. Breathe in through your nose for 3 seconds. Hold for 3 seconds. Exhale for 3 seconds. Pause for 3 seconds. And then repeat the process. And once you've done that 3 or 4 times, congratulations, you've just meditated. And the more that you can do that throughout your day, even just like if you can't even wrap your head around setting aside 15 minutes to meditate, just doing that breathing for maybe 6 times, right? Cycles of the 3 seconds. That is going to help you really relax, calm your body down. It is going, so whenever you are overwhelmed and you're stressed, the body goes into fight or flight mode, and the blood rushes from all of your internal organs to your muscles and to your brain and to your heart, so that you can fight and so that you can outrun that lion or bison. But guess what, guys? You don't have to do that anymore. We're not cavemen anymore. So we don't need to be in that fight or flight response, and that's what's happening when we're overwhelmed. So it's really important that you do these kinds of breathing exercises as well as these fun creative exercises, just to really pack a punch for your mental health. It will help you relax so much faster, and it will be so much more impactful whenever you do it. And it's really important. It really is. And I know that you're here, you're showing up. So I know that it's important to you as well. And you are going to think that I am telling lies, because this week's like RD exercise is going to seem so simple. And you're like, there's no way. I'm telling you, it's because you are using your hands and you are going to be focused. And what we're going to do today is doodle. And I know that lots of people aren't comfortable with doodling because they feel like they can't draw. And I'm going to walk you through just the easiest way to get started when you feel like you cannot draw. And what I want to tell you, if you are one of those people who say, like, oh God, I cannot draw, I promise you that it is muscle memory. So whenever you practice something, so say 10 minutes every night before you go to bed, you practice basic shapes. You're going to be able to connect all of those basic shapes and draw something. Within 2 weeks, you're going to be able to draw no problem, really. And it is so simple. Like, you really are going to be like, no way, she's lying. There's no way. But it is so good for your brain, and it is so worthy. And like, why wouldn't you do it whenever it really is that simple? And it has been proven as well, like if you are on a phone call, if you are watching something and you're trying to learn, if you doodle at the same time, you're actually far more likely to remember the things that you have learned. How friggin' amazing is that? There's a whole thing now that has come around called sketchnoting, because people want to be able to visually represent their ideas a lot better and be able to remember them. Like, oh, I love it. I even built like a wee library of doodles in the back of my bullet journal, which is downstairs, and I am kicking myself for leaving it there. And I absolutely love doodling. I really do. And I have worksheets which I will print. I'll post in the group. They are like a really light grey, so you can draw over the top. It means that you can start working on that muscle memory. Hey, Rachel. Oh, no. Okay, that's no problem, Rachel. Welcome. Hopefully it will not be that long, because it's a really simple like doodle exercise this evening. And I'm just explaining that even if you feel like you can't doodle, I've got worksheets that's going to help you, because it's light grey and you can draw over the top, and you can just keep drawing and keep practicing. It's going to help you build that muscle memory. And if you're dedicating 5 to 10 minutes every single day, you will see an improvement within a week. You really will. So I'm just going to move my iPad so you can see me as I doodle, and Bonnie's picture of purposes that she painted and sent to me in the post. It was incredible. And this is my radiator, guys. Isn't it beautiful? So I'll just move over here. Excuse me. Move that out of the way. Now, where I want to make sure that you're able to see what I'm doing. That lighting's a bit funny. We'll fix that next week. So what I am going to start with, right, I'm going to start with just a box. Okay, that was a rectangle, really bad. And you can do rectangles, squares, boxes, and what we're doing here is getting your hand and your arm used to drawing lines. And you can make your practice pages look pretty as well. Like, there's nothing against that. There's nothing that says that it has to be boring whenever you're doing your practicing. And then I'm going to do triangles. Can you guess what I'm going to be drawing? Go on in the comments. I want you to guess what's coming. So haven't doodled like this in a wee while, so you can see my lines are all funky, they're not connecting properly. But the more that I practice, the more I'll be able to improve on the neatness. And please let me know if you are drawing along. And obviously if you slow down a tiny bit, you're going to be much neater. But even at that, it doesn't matter how neat you are, because it's not about the destination, it is about the journey and the process, because your brain is going to be quietened down and it is going to help you deal with the acute feelings of stress that you have been feeling, or the overwhelm from the chronic stress that you've been feeling. And it's really going to help you to relax. Sandra, give me a guess. What do you think's coming as I draw? Gosh darn it, these wee small ones are a pain. And if you suffer from wrist problems like I do, like I have a genetic disorder with my joints, well, my connective tissue more specifically, and I do need to usually warm up whenever I go to draw and do things like this. So stress squeezy balls, you know, the kind of squishies that you can get, they're really good. You can get hand exercising tools that have like come in different strengths, so you can have a weak grip, a strong grip, or a medium grip, and work on it like that. Whoops. And normally I do need to like warm up and stretch and all the rest, but it should be fairly straightforward. And even as you continue to draw, your wrist will warm up. But I do understand that Stacey would end up suffering from sore wrists. I also have the compression gloves, which really help. Sandra, what do you think I am going to draw? I'm going to be connecting these shapes at the end. Is my audio okay? Has your tooth surgery made you lose your hearing? Now the worksheets that I have created, you'll be able to draw little flowers, you'll be able to draw lots of little things, and they're just fun warm-up exercises just to help you calm the flip down. And the breathing exercises are just so important, like really so very important. And doodling, I do know that doodling seems overwhelming to people. I get it. It seems so easy whenever you're watching people just kind of pulling shapes and stuff out of their butt. But I promise you, it doesn't need to be as difficult as our brains make it out to be. And it doesn't have to be perfect by any means necessary. It's times like this when I wish that I had somebody with me just to talk while I concentrated. I was trying to think of like little Amsterdam type houses. I was watching a crime show this week that was based in Amsterdam, which is why this is where we've ended up. It's just houses, like a row of houses. It's seriously, it's just basic shapes. I really want to get across like how basic the shapes are and how capable you are of drawing whatever the heck you like. And even if you are nervous about your drawing skills, nervous about the fact that you have a problem with your wrists or whatever, you don't need to be. Oh, lost the top again. And it is so important if you want to draw, if that's what you want to do and you really like to draw and you want to end up just being able to draw anything at kind of any time, practicing basic shapes is going to get you so far. It really is. It is such a good way. Okay, so somebody pick a color. I'm I'm trying to think of a color that you're actually going to be able to see, because I used yellow once before and couldn't see a bloody thing. So I don't want to choose the ones that I just did. I'm going to try this one. Yay, Wendy! Hey, Becca! Okay, so I'm just going to do a quick recap. We are drawing, and I'm just going to check that you can actually see this. Can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. We are drawing basic shapes, and we are developing the muscle memory so that you're going to be able to doodle whatever the flipping heck you want to. And the doodling is something that you can do for like 5 to 10 minutes every single evening, just to decompress, shut your brain down, get yourself prepared for sleep so that you can silence the chatter. And all of those things will help you to deal with overwhelm. Orange, I hear you, Rachel, I hear you. Let's go brighter. So, and this is how I got started. This is how I learned how to draw. This is it. This is where we all begin. It doesn't magically appear out of our butts. It really doesn't. And you'll find that the most gifted artists are the ones who spend the most time flipping, practicing and drawing non-stop, and learning and practicing and honing and learning. And it can seem overwhelming. It really can, but it isn't. It really does start with simple shapes. And as I teach in my boot camps and challenges, that the best way to achieve anything that seems overwhelming is just to focus on the really small step in front of you. Like that famous phrase, what's the best way to eat an elephant? One bite at a time. It is so important that you just honor the fact that things like this can take time. See, simple shapes just being added together for a really simple result. Like, that took no time at all. And I hope that somebody give me something to draw, like a shape that you would like me to draw, and I will try and break down the shapes for you and just make it easier. Now, I would really recommend, if you are stuck for ideas in terms of what to draw in the evening, or even if you're doing it in the morning, just take a look around your environment and see what you've got. So here's a spray bottle. Let's have a wee go at drawing that thing. Now, it's not going to be great. Swirly shapes. Oh, what are the swirly shapes? So are you just talking about, oh, I know what I could do. So leaves. You could do vines. And then add leaves onto the vines. And that was Rachel who suggested that, just in case anybody's like, I thought you were going to draw a bottle. No, Rachel gave me a suggestion, so I went with that. And you can really, we're always just building upon. So do you remember, I think it was session 3 where we covered layering, where we just put all of the techniques that we had learned together. It might have been session 4 actually. And we created something incredible with the really basic, super simple techniques we had learned. That is pretty much how all amazing art gets created. We are just layering all of the techniques that we have learned, all of the things that we have discerned, and we play and we enjoy ourselves. And leaves are a great example to play with, because there are so many possible shapes out there. And you can play around with color. You can play around with style. You can play around with the way that you draw the lines. So you can do them kind of wide-ish. You can do them just plain. You can do them super, super fine. Now, it's really important that you don't go too detailed, otherwise you're just going straight into a drawing. You want doodles to be pretty simple things to deal with. But even playing with the number and the scale and everything within a doodle really can make a big impact in what you're drawing. And I really just love the fact that it is so easy. And we can add to this flower as well by just adding like more kind of petal shapes in there. Now I do realize it shows a light pink, you can't really see, can you? And we can add shapes on the inside of the flower. So I'm just going to do circles the whole way around and just keep going till we reach the middle. And then we can fill you'll probably be able to see that better. Actually, I'm going to use the brush end. Rachel, I love the colouring that you did with the crayons that you got. How are you liking them? The colours were incredible. And I know Stacey won a pack as well. So I think she has been working away with them. I think she has a lot of her art on her Instagram at Fine Art of Waiting. And you can see tons of inspiration over there for healing through art. So give me another shape. So I've done the swirly shapes, we've done flowers, we've done vines, we've done a row of pretty poor houses. Yeah, and it's so simple. Like it's not difficult, and we really can judge ourselves before we have even attempted. Yeah, and a lot of fun, lots of fun. So I've got another page here, and I am more than happy to try some more shapes. I really love my Tombow markers, love them. But I've also got my Uni Posca paint pens just in case you want me to draw something else. I'm really trying to look for ideas of what to draw here, but so far I've only got stationery in front of me. Okay, so here's like a paint thing. Oh, that's great, Rachel. You'll enjoy that. So I won't be arsed with trying to make this realistic, okay? What I'm looking at is the basic shapes here. So it's kind of like a triangle that cuts off before the end, and then it's almost like an exclamation point, nearly. So that is how you end up creating doodles, is whenever you see the basic shape, it just makes it so much easier to be like, oh, that's how you do it. So I'm just gonna add like swirly writing. It's not swirly writing, it's just a scribble, but that's paint. And let me see, a brush maybe. I'll just use a marker. So we've got this silver part at the top, which again, it's not quite triangular, and then it's a grip. Oh, whoops. And then there's the long part for the handle and the color. And then the bristles. And the more you do this, the more you are going to notice that your eye will be able to break down pretty much everything into its most basic shapes and really see how simple it is to turn anything at all into a doodle. Pretty simple, right? How was your week, Becca? I absolutely loved your puffin. He looked fantastic. He was so cute. So with the crayons, making video in particular, I used crayons just like that. And where is it? Like, this is a mark making piece done with oil crayons. That, oh, love that. There you go. So you'd be able to draw a puffin as well, no doubt, because you know that, like, well, doodle a puffin, because you know the basic shapes and you know how to like put them together. That's basically all drawing is. You kind of treat it like you're back in school and you're learning how to do it. But yeah, I know this was a really this was a quick exercise, because like it really is so easy. And I understand people are like, meditation cannot do all of these incredible things because it's too simple. But really, the science is in, and it does, and it's fantastic. And the same applies for when you are crafting or when you are drawing and when you are deep in creative mode. Like Becca and her needle felting, oh my goodness, the amount of good that that's going to be doing for your brain, it's fantastic. And it also looks incredible. And do you like my poster? This is from Flo. This is a poster that just reminds me every day I need to just take 3 minutes out to breathe. And it's called the 3-minute breathing space. And it's just how to really relax and get in the zone. And I've had that poster for about 7 years now. And it's just, yeah, every day a reminder to be like, yeah, you need to just have more downtime, have more chill time, reduce the effects of chronic stress, reduce the overwhelm. Oh, you have a chest infection? Ooh, thank you for showing up. How are you feeling now? Ooh, they're nasty. And especially during COVID, oh my God, you haven't been able to cough anywhere. Anywhere. I'm glad it's just a chest infection though, and not COVID. She says, hopefully. Wendy, how are you doing this week? I would love to know actually how many of the gals in here who are joining us live, how many of you doodle or draw on a regular basis? Like, do any of you bullet journal? I absolutely love to bullet journal. And every day I am working on those shapes because I use like a bullet journal key, which helps me to just visually see the tasks that I have just moved, or I have just started and need to complete, or I have completed, or like, it is so helpful. And then that also helps me to practice my doodling. And you got your second shot. Woo! How are you feeling, Wendy? That's great. They're allowing it for my age bracket almost from Monday. Oh, sometimes you've got no ideas. Even whenever you are like that, I always default to practicing basic shapes, and normally I'm practicing my handwriting. So whenever I'm practicing handwriting, I am literally, these are the movement drills that you do, and what you're trying to do is build up the muscle in your shoulder so that whenever you're writing, your wrist doesn't get sore. Same thing for whenever you're drawing. Wendy, that is good that you have no symptoms as of yet. I know a lot of people do, but then also they're like, I'm just glad I got the shot. Thank goodness. So I'm just doing really quick exercises to show you. Like, this is basic movement drills. Super basic. And I always default to those whenever I have no ideas so that I am still doing the work. And even whenever I struggle, I just do lines, wavy lines, borders. Triangles. And then again, you're just like putting them all together. And then you can play around with color and shapes and tone and pattern. because I get like that as well, where I don't feel creative enough to do anything, like, and I can't be bothered. Ooh, I always doodle flowers, Rachel, so I can understand that. Actually, I'm gonna change to the brush pen. Oh, Ivana's not with us tonight. Wonder how she's doing. So just messing around. Oh, sorry, the window's right there. And just working on the basics, just for whenever you're like, oh, I've got no ideas and I'm feeling like crap. Really, I always default to the basics, because that's the foundation. That's the easiest stuff. And it is always the foundation to everything that we can build upon. Yes, that's exactly what I do. You're precisely right there, Wendy. Precisely right. Oh, Becca, that's fantastic. Yeah, Zentangles can be a lot of fun. And the repetitive nature of them is really good for your brain. Really good for your brain. So, and even whenever you get new supplies, I always do tests with the supplies just to see how they work, see how the nibs work, see how the nibs create different lines and different shapes, and see, like, that is the nature of creative play, and that is the nature of being an artist and being fearless, because you are enjoying the process of discovery rather than trying to create something magical and wonderful. The process of creating and discovering and just working out all of the wonderful things. I have just spotted a notebook where I can show you where all of my like basic kind of brain fart doodles go. So I will get up and get that. So excuse me. You can look at my beautiful wall for a second. So yeah, I've got a lovely quote in there. So I have practiced headers, different kinds of rectangles. And these are just things that I do while I am watching TV in the evening. More banners and headers, types of ribbons, messing around with pencils, borders and shapes. Yeah, I haven't finished that page. Again, more headers and doodles and just playing around with shapes and just building all of these shapes on top of each other. Then playing around with color, shape, tone, trying to make like a rainbow effect. You'll see that the colors kind of go in order as they would in the rainbow. Then messing around, playing around with pen on top of the bold color and the shape, and just really experimenting. And this is so good for your brain. It is so good. And like, these are beautiful pages. It is pretty made for a brain fart journal, you're right. But like, it's a lot of fun. And you find that once you do all of that experimenting and playing, it's like, oh, I can build on this. I can like add all this together. And then this is where you go. Rachel, see, with the flowers and the doodling? Like, this is where your brain takes you. And then these are just highlighters I was playing around with. And I think I did this whenever we were on a live together, guys. And I was just playing around to see how my highlighters work together whenever I was doing the borders that I practiced previously. And this is just line art. It really is the most simple line art you could possibly do. And this is me playing with Crayola Super Tips. So just playing around with the different parts of the nib, just to see the thickness, just to see how easy it was to make the strokes. Like, it is. And that was the end of it, and then it went into my quotes and my affirmations journal. Because this is what it ended up being. Ended up full of affirmations and quotes that I look at on the regular. Oh, more doodles. There we go. See, just basic shapes, turning them into borders, turning them into patterns. It really is an excellent way for you to de-stress, and just, you don't have to think about anything. You don't even need to be able to think about anything. Like, as I said, it's a real brain fart journal. You know, whenever you just feel like, my brain has farted right out of my nose, and I could not string a sentence together, even if I tried. So I'm going to go over here and draw some simple shapes. That's kind of the way I am whenever I'm doing them, and the TV can be on in the background and nothing's going in. I am just like, very simple shapes. And it's just so easy to do, and it is good for you to not put that pressure on yourself to try and have to think, to try and have to speak, to try and have to construct sentences, any of that stuff. It's really worth doing. It really is. And I really would encourage you to go and have a look. Your homework this week will be to download the worksheets that I give you, start practicing, and then on the back you can flip over your printout and then just practice repeatedly. So you can even end up building patterns. You can even build out a border, like a wee thin line of the shapes to create a cute border. Like those can be turned into washi tape or different patterns that you cut out in the future for your artwork that we end up layering like we did last week when I just was looking in my drawers looking for stuff, and I ended up cutting out the secret journaling technique. How did you get on? How did you do? Did anybody journal anything this week? I would absolutely love to know. I think that a lot of you missed the very start, but poor Sandra had to have surgery this week on her wisdom tooth, and her face is all swollen. I felt so sorry for her. It reminded me of whenever one of my cats ate a bee, and it was my face just swollen up, and it was so cute. Poor wee kid. And this week, or was it last week? Purpose was chasing bees around the garden. Oh my God, it was torture trying to stop chasing them. Stop it. Rachel, I can totally understand doing that. I do that as well, but I haven't done any ladybirds. I looked down the other day and I was sitting outside and there was a wee ladybird hanging out with me on my cushion, which was so cute. I'm like, oh, hi. Thanks for joining me. Oh. That's so sad, Sandra. But yeah, you did. Yeah. There you go, Sandra. Wendy's wishing you well. Did anybody journal this week? I'm busting to know, and then I'm going to let you get on because I had a lovely time, and it is such a simple project this week. It really is. Just learning how to build that muscle memory, build up that shoulder so you can doodle whatever the heck you want and really work on looking at objects and breaking them down into their most like basic shapes possible. And like not books or phones. But things like puffins, like Becca has done. Maybe that's a bit advanced, but like flowers, it's so simple to do. It really is. Oh, is that Purpose? That was Purpose falling on the floor. Yes, Wendy, that makes me so happy. Good. It's great for you. And it's a great form of self-therapy as well. And yeah, I am a big proponent for journaling. I really am. What? You had to have injections for the swelling to go away? Oh my goodness. That's really, no thank you. I remember getting a tooth out and my dentist at the time was really, really small. And I only say that because preferably the dentist would have been built like a rugby player, because this little lady was not strong enough to get the tooth out of my mouth. And she was in there with pliers just wiggling around in there. And oh my God, I was black and blue for about 2 weeks. It was so sore for so long. Oh my goodness. So I hope that you feel better soon. Yeah, that's precisely right, because the thoughts can spin in our heads, and just as soon as you get them onto the paper, it's like, oh my God, oh wow, I can breathe again. I can think. There are other thoughts. Oh yeah. That's good. That's a good entry. And especially if you've been sick, I wouldn't put too much pressure on yourself, Becca. I really wouldn't. Yeah. Correct, Wendy. Correct. It's like she was kneeling on my chest at one point. It was really, I was like, ah. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. But I think tooth pain is some of the worst pain ever. So yeah, no, I definitely know your struggle. I think a lot of people do. Does anybody have any questions for me this week about doodling or feeling overwhelmed or anything at all? Because otherwise I can let you go. Like me, still struggling with my glasses. I don't know what it is. Is it my nose? Is it my ears? I'm gonna let poor Sandra go. I had such a lovely time with you guys. Really did. I really enjoy our time every week. It is just nice to talk to people. Especially in times of COVID, like our lockdown restrictions haven't fully been lifted yet. But yeah, they will be getting lifted soon, which is good. But I do miss speaking to people. You kind of don't realize it for a while until somebody is at your door and you're like, oh, hey, hiya. You want to talk to me, do you? How long do you think, or were you given, Sandra, to recover? Oh, Wendy, it was lovely to see you as well. Thank you for joining us. And I am interested in what people want to see next week. Oh yeah, no problem. I can make sure to tag you all whenever I make the announcement, so you can hit that like get reminder button. And I'll also be sending emails to the newsletter list just to make sure that everybody knows that yeah, this is whenever I'm going live, because I lose track of the days as well. Like I looked around yesterday, I was like, "Is today Thursday? What? Where was I? What happened?" So I can completely understand. So I have no questions, which is good. Rachel, thank you so much for joining us. I understand things a bit mental whenever you're trying to play teacher. So thank you so much. And I hope that you do download the worksheets whenever. I'll post them before 8 o'clock inside the group, and I'll make sure to tag everyone that was here. Okay. Hey, Anita. Oh, thank you so much for joining us. Woo. Well, I will be able to, if you want tagged, I'm more than happy to tag folks in the announcements just before I do go live. I do that all the time, Becca. Not with my brother, I don't have a brother. But yeah. It's like, is it? No, I thought today was Tuesday, isn't it? It feels like a Sunday. Is it a Sunday, is it? They can all, it's mad. They all blend into one another and then they just go. But yeah, I am going to let you go and I am going to get on grabbing these worksheets for you. And I hope Tosha is able to watch us on YouTube during the week. So thank you so much for joining me this week, and I will see you next Friday at the same time. Bye.